How you doing, everyone? Welcome back. Gonna have a really quick look at SHPING, and this is the token that just refuses to drop, and that is a happy place to be. So obviously we've moved into what was a wedge pattern. I'm not gonna just move this again and say, hey, look, guys, we're still forming a wedge, because that ship has sailed. But what has happened is it hasn't dropped. It hasn't broken in either direction. So what are we finding? We are finding that previous resistors are now coming as supports. So I'm just going to drop a couple of bits in here. Alright, so we have essentially found resistance at 1848 and also at 1784. We have made two attempts to break above this significant resistance, and we've had two attempts at the lesser at 1784. So we're struggling to break up, but what we haven't done is broken lower. So it's really good to see that we have a couple of levels of support here, one of which is now working as a as a resistance as well. So there's enough lines there for you to see what's going on. We've essentially broken above and held, not moved higher. It's taken a minute, but we have broken back below. So we've now got 1493 to contend with. We'll call it 1.5 flat. So once we break above 1.5, we should be able to have a nice little test at the 16.7, which was a historic support. Yeah, let's hope that doesn't act as a resistance. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a quick fib. I'm going to put a quick fib on the move, and we can see where we are and possibly what to expect. So from the low to the high. There we are. We are currently sitting on the 0.5. We are currently sitting right on it, and we do have the Ishimoku working as support currently. We fell into it, we fell to the bottom, and we've had a number of hours where we've not wanted to fall out. When we have fallen out, we've not touched the 618, but we've come close to it. And I think the only reason we haven't touched the 618 is we found the support at 1367. I'll zoom out in a second and I'll show you why these are significant lines that might be working away from the Fibonacci. So what to look for now will either be a move back up to 1554, might even get to the top of the Ishimoku at 1644. Essentially, we're going to bounce around. We are going to bounce around, and very dependent on where we break out of the Ishimoku will depend on whether we're going to break out, move higher, which would look like a retest there, bouncing off of some support on the Ishimoku, ring fence ourselves into a corner and go, which is essentially what should have happened around this area here, or, and I'll mark that blue as a likely, or we are going to have a bounce around and then we're going to come out of the Ishimoku, have a test on some either resistance or support, depending on what way we come at it, and then we'll be rejected by the Ishimoku, either pass into it and down until we come back in a future date and make a move. So that's kind of the update for the day. We're sitting on the 0.5. Normally on a move you do come back and test the 786, so a likely possibility is we bounce around within the Ishimoku and move higher from where we are because there's strong support here which is holding us up, or we will lose the support that we're seeing at the moment at 1367 and tail off back towards 1182. So that is a possibility. I don't see that playing out today, but never say never. And yeah, short and sweet, guys. I'm just doing really brief updates, but this thing is essentially sitting in limbo. It hasn't reacted in the way that I'd foreseen, so it hasn't moved up or down. It has moved sideways. That's not a bad thing. I would buy sideways movement over a shit the bed catastrophe any day of the week. What would be nice to see now is some volume coming in, which we are pretty much due, as you can see from the MACD. With the tide is turning. Is that a death cross? Some could say. Some could say. What's going to happen here? Now I'm zooming right in because these crosses normally capture rejection, or we use it as a slight springboard. So this is the moving average for the token, and what we want to see here is a slight turn that dip into a swing. What we'd like to see is the price action not be rejected at it and come lower, but actually to move above, back test, and then we could go. So just looking at the MACD, that's actually bringing some positive vibes. Yeah, significant positive vibes. Where are we with the RSI? We are lower than 50, but as you can see, what we've done is we've actually moved above the moving average of the strength index, and we've bounced from it. That is a nice bullish move, and you can see we're pointing upwards as well. So once that gets above 50, which is at this point, we are likely to see some support coming in. At some point we'll probably break above 50. This moving average will come up to meet us, we'll be up, bounce, and away we go. Or we are going to follow suit with a rejection, and at some point fall under the moving average and then take a nosedive. So lots that I'm keeping my eye on right now. There is lots that I'm keeping my eye on. But for the meantime, for the next few hours, do expect us to be bouncing around the Ishimoku. And if you're keeping an eye like I am, watch for the break above or watch for getting stuck below. If we do get stuck below, we could likely come back to the 786, which is at 1182. If not, we're going to start moving higher, and then we'll have to see how these many resistance points behave to us attempting to break higher. And again, a price target for today, if we were to break higher in a moonshot, would probably be the 25.57, there or thereabouts, because that is significant resistance. Let me just thicken that up. Okay, best of luck. See you on the next one.